Yo, what the deal? It's your boy X.E.L. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you. Yes, you. Thank you for coming back. But if you are new here, do me a favor and subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll let you know when I drop another video. Today, what I want to do is go over a keyboard that I just received from Zounds. It is the 49 SL MK3 from Novation. I think it's a really nice looking and feeling keyboard. So let's get into it and I'll show you a couple of things that I know or found out about it. Let's go. All right, so here we are in Ableton. Yes, we are in Ableton today. So the keyboard is like semi-weighted, really nice setup on here. You have your controls over here, so you record, looping, playing, stopping, rewind. It comes with a whole lot of different things. So there's a shift option up here. You have a global option, which basically takes over the whole keyboard. You have an option to use in control, which basically means that you have control with your DAW for the keyboard. I think that's pretty cool. The tempo, I still have not gotten down. If anybody knows how to set the tempo inside of Ableton to match the tempo inside of the keyboard, let me know, because I can get it to go on there, but it won't. I don't know how to make it take into Ableton. Like I can tap it and see the tapping setup in here, but I just can't get it to actually sync with Ableton. And it's probably something I'm doing wrong. Still trying to learn it. So as you see, it's kind of bright. It has like little lines in here. So just like how the Complete Control has the guides, this one actually has guides as well. This gives you an option to do scales and also to do ARPs on here as well. I think that's pretty cool. You have like faders on here that control your faders. You have like mute and solo options that you have up here. And you can also have them to do like arm tracks and record as well. So you can make it do either one of those, which is really cool. And this kind of reminds me of like the push screen right here, where you have like a whole bunch of like, they have like 5 different screens to do to show you exactly what's going on right now on the track. But yeah, so let's kind of get started. I'm going to go and do the control first. And this is the control for the track. I have 3 tracks set up in here. I have a drum kit. I have a piano from Labs, and I have a guitar set up on here. So right now I am on the drums. Right. So I have an option to do drums in here. Really simple. I can even do ARPs. So you just hold down shift, click on ARP, and then I can do. Right. And if I wanted to do it toward the grid, this gives me an option to play the drums out on the pads. Right. So really simple to kind of get those things kind of set up on here. I think that's really dope that they have that on here. So if you wanted to move to a different track, you have an option here to go to track. So if I wanted to go to, let's say, the guitar, which is the first one, I can. Right, and because the ARP is still on, it's playing through the ARP. So I'm gonna turn the ARP off. And this also works for scales. So if you go into the scales, hold down shift, turn on the scales, right? And you get to choose what scale you want if you hit on 6 scales. So right now it's on a C natural minor. So if I wanted to change this, you can use these encoders up here, right? And it's changing the lighting down here as well. So, and I can't play a wrong note because it'll move it to the correct note. I think that's super dope. I like the fact that they actually did that as well. So I'm gonna take off the scales. So scales are now off, right? So this gives you a really cool option to kind of do that. You also have an option for like your step sequencer. So you can do a sequencer. So let's go back to the drums. So I'm gonna go back to drums. Let's go back to control first. So it's controlling the actual DAW and moving things around. So I'm gonna go down to the drums, right? And let's go to sequencer. All right, so let's say we wanted to, we're gonna go to the top one. We're gonna just record something in this guitar. And let's do it to a scale. All right, so we're on the scales. Let's do a, let's do an F sharp, right? So we have F sharp scale here. And with this, it gives you an option to actually record. So if I hit on record, you got to make sure you're in control mode. Hit record. Right, and that gives you a really simple way to kind of record inside of Ableton. And if you wanted to go to your other track, I can just hit this arrow and it goes down to my piano. Right, so I'm just gonna add these little keys down here. Right, so we have that on here now. So we have our guitar and we have our piano. And if you want to go to the drums, you can just move over one more time. And this brings us to the drums. All right, and I think this is a very good keyboard. Like, you can do so much straight from the keyboard itself. It does work in other DAWs as well. It doesn't have all the fully functioning things if you put it like in Cakewalk or in Reaper. It does have like a HUI where you can kind of control most of the things in here for like your faders and mixing and stuff like that. But it doesn't fully control those DAWs like it does inside of Ableton. That could be a drawback for some, but if you're using Ableton, I would say it's definitely a good way to go if you're thinking about going that route, because it gives you your options to like mute and solo right here. So if I wanted to mute the guitar, I can just mute the guitar. Right, I can mute the guitar, can bring it back, I can mute the keys. You can solo. Right, so all that can be done like right here inside of the keyboard. I think that's pretty dope. All right, so let me know below, guys, what you guys think about this keyboard. I really like it. I like the pads. The pads feel really nice. I love the fact that it actually has pads on it, so I can kind of do my drums however I want to on there. I think that's always cool. You have a lot of control over those using these little knobs up here. You also have your faders over here, and you have your mute solos. You have an option to like record. So if I wanted to arm this track, now the drums are armed and ready to record. And it's just that simple to kind of get that set up on here. I think that's really dope. I like the fact that the control panel does work. You have a whole bunch of options that you can actually use as well. The scales and the ARPs is definitely that's what I would do. That is why I would get this keyboard, because I love scales and ARPs, because I'm not that great of a player. I know some keys, but it just makes it a lot easier for me to actually create that way when I have that. Some of the things I don't like is the fact that it doesn't necessarily work in all the DAWs. I mean, it kind of does, but it doesn't really. It is missing some things, and you have to actually kind of program them into those other DAWs in order for stuff to work from here to your DAW. This basically is kind of like made for Ableton, but it does work in other DAWs. The other thing is that you have to actually have a power supply. That is one thing I do not like about the keyboard. I don't like having to actually plug in something to get it to work, other than, you know, the USB or the USB-C, but to actually plug it into like the wall to actually get it to power on, that I'm not a fan of that at all. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it is still a nice, sturdy, good keyboard. I like the weighted keys on here as well. I'm not a fan of the pitch wheels, really. It's really stiff. They don't really like bounce. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think it's still a solid build. If you are interested in getting a keyboard and you use Ableton, I would highly suggest get this one. I like it for Ableton. I have a link below to Zounds where you can actually get and pick up this keyboard. The link is below in the description of the video. They don't do like background credit check, and you can actually do a payment plan as well if you want to for this keyboard. So definitely keep that in mind. And like I said, that link is below in the description of the video. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel. That's pretty much the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. And once again, this is your boy, X.E.L. Till next time, people. Peace.